What's good, family, and aloha from Oahu. This is day 16 of 30 days sober, and instead of going to my day, I'm just gonna get right into childhood trauma part 6 because this trauma is one, if not the one, most tragic experience to share, but it's also the domino effect that had the most impact on my life, and because it shaped a lot of who I am today. It's also the unfortunate reason of what caused us to move back to Cali from Alaska. So if this didn't happen, I would have never met my wife and everything that came with her, including my daughter. So yeah, and that is the story of how our oldest sibling, Aries, got incarcerated. So yeah, when mom divorced dad in 1994, I was 4 at the time when we moved from Long Beach to Alaska. But when we moved, Aries happened to obviously be the next in line. But because mom worked and was away all the time, brothers Aries and Virgo, the two oldest, watched over us, which Aries is only 9 years older than me, which made him 13 at the time, and Virgo like 12. And yeah, they were the same age as my daughter now. And it's crazy to think that if she was in charge, I couldn't imagine seeing her do half the things that they did, because it was the break from an abusive and controlling parent that created a sense of freedom for our older brothers, Aries and Virgo, who spent the most time with our father. So yeah, they were, like, when I say they were free, they was free. Yeah, they were inviting friends left and right to the house. They were throwing parties, buying alcohol like they were full-grown adults. And if y'all don't know much about Samoans in their teens, that's one of the benefits of being Samoan, because we look way older because of our size than everyone else, right? So to give y'all a reference, my daughter was 5'8", fitting into a size 10 in men's when she went into foster care, okay? Yeah, I think she could be taller now, so I don't know. And that just shows you the type of kids we breed, right? And so we breed mini giants, and that was why I believe Aries and Virgo always had alcohol in these parties with mom when mom was away. And it wasn't like mom was ignorant to what they were doing, because Aries had like shared with me a couple memories, because I smoked with mom. I smoked one blunt with mom 4 years ago. And Aries had a memory where he shared a couple blunts with mom. And that was obviously in our childhood. And I remember a couple parties where mom was there drinking along with them. So yeah, mom was letting them enjoy being free, but that freedom came at a cost. And for starters, Aries had his first son at 18, which was the same age mom had him. I think, yeah. To give you an idea of how old I was, Aries is 9 years older than me, and mom's first grandchild, his son, is 9 years younger than me. So, like, my nephew could pass as my brother. And yeah, Aries and Virgo dropped out of high school. So one way Aries got his GED was he went and enrolled himself into boot camp. And because we were known as like the party house, they attracted a lot of energies throughout the 11 years that we were in Alaska. And again, I'm not using anyone's real name while I'm sharing these stories, but yeah, Aries and his wife Lance were real close friends to a biracial couple named Mel and Mike. And Mel was a white woman who got pregnant and claimed it was Mike's, the homie of our brother Aries, who was, I think, full or at least half black. Now when baby D came out, he was full white. He was a full white baby. And Mike left Mel because he believed the baby wasn't his. So it was Aries and Lons that took Mel in to help her get on her feet. And at this time, we were all living or staying with our brother Aries. So, but because she was dealing with, I feel like Mel was dealing with postpartum and the stress of Mike leaving, she would take it out on baby D. Now, when I say take it out, I mean I vividly remember Mel ordered like Chinese food And while she was eating, baby D, who was around like 1 at the time, was crawled up to his mom crying. And I think he got to a point where he stood up on his own to reach for her. And I seen Mel kick him down with her foot. Yeah, I know what I saw, but this isn't out of the ordinary. Certain patterns add up, right? So fast forward to the day Mel went to work and asked Aries if he could watch baby D, who was around the same age as his son. So he agreed because he was like off that day. And like 45 minutes to I think it was like an hour into his care, baby D had collapsed. And Aries tried doing CPR because he was certified to do so during his time at boot camp. And when that didn't work, he did what most men would do in a crisis, and that was called our mom. Yeah, so mom advised him to rush baby D to the hospital. And because the ambulance wasn't going to get there in time at the hospital, when he got to the hospital, not too long afterwards, baby D passed away. And when the autopsy was done, they found brain contusions in baby D's head caused from physical trauma. And so this evidence meant baby D didn't die from SIDS or natural causes. This meant the tragedy changed from natural causes to a second-degree murder for the killing of an infant. So yeah, and I'm gonna just ask y'all tell me, who do you think the jury convicted after going through all the trials? A poor single white mother or an overly sized Samoan man who comes from a broken family? All right. With the system we live in today, y'all know that answer. And the state of Alaska convicted our innocent brother to 20 years to life. And yes, he is innocent, but I'll get to that soon. Man, I just remember mom screams when they said those words. I've never heard mom scream like that before. And yeah, he went in around the time his second son was around 2 or 3. And because mom relied on Aries the most, especially with dealing with us, she felt the best option for us to do at the time will move us back to Cali. And unfortunately, that wasn't like the only blow Aries and our family took. He and his wife, Lons, got divorced, and she had 2 more sons, which will happen to be our uncle, mom's youngest sibling. Yeah, you heard that right. Uncle had 2 sons from a previous relationship too, so they became like a family of 8 with 6 boys, including our 2 eldest nephews. And because our uncle wasn't that much older than Aries, we practically grew up with him, and he was more like a brother to us because of his age. And it was uncle's betrayal that kind of like opened my eyes to the reality of how messy relationships can get. I mean, this was straight out of a Jerry Springer episode. Now, I was unfortunate, but because Aries was able to, he picked up a cleaning job in a veterinarian facility while incarcerated, all right, due to like good behavior, because you don't hear of that often, right? That's because, our brother is innocent, and innocent people gonna do innocent things, right? So yeah, although you like earn pennies to the dollar in prison when you work, because he met his future wife while working there, who helped kind of helped him with his mental throughout serving the rest of his time, which I thank her a lot. But yeah, I just appreciate her for that. Mom never gave up on proving our brother's innocence, and she reached out to a lot of different organizations around the time Aries was doing time. And the Alaska Innocent Project got a hold of our brother's case about halfway through his sentencing. Yeah, and they picked Aries' case, which, mind you, they don't pick any case, all right? They only pick cases they know they can win. So Alaska Innocence is still, currently working on his case, and it's being pushed to the Supreme Court, which now they've pushed it to 2028 when we'll be able to get a hearing on it. So, now, so that Aries served 15 years instead of 20 because of good behavior, and then continued serving 2 years of halfway house to help him transition. So he served a total of 17 years of his original 20-year verdict. And Aries he had no business serving 17 days in a place like prison, but it just proves more of his character during this process, right? And just another bonus to add to his character, out of the rest of us 8 who have been free this entire time he served, we never owned, let alone rented our own house on our own since he was in. All right, the closest I got was a townhouse in Colorado State, and that was with roommates. So yeah, because Aries was allowed to work during his 2 years in the halfway house, they kept half of his paycheck, so that way people, the inmates don't blow all of their money while they're in there. And after completing your time, they gave the other half when Aries was released. And so he had enough money and was the first sibling to officially buy and own his house. So yeah, y'all can see why I looked up to this man a lot throughout my childhood, because he's one of my idols to this day. His mental fortitude is like unmatched. All right, for someone to go through all that and still come out and do things right, he's the reason why I wanted to get my degree in criminal justice, because of how much I wanted to know why the system failed our family. Now, not to mention, when he was released from the halfway house in 2017, 18, I think it was, and got his house, I was living in Cali at the time, and this is also the time I applied for The Rock's very first TV show called The Titan Games at this time. And since this was around the same time Aries got his house, man, I remember he's like, hey, bro, I got a room up here. You can come with you and your daughter, and you guys can spend time up here. And so, yeah, I dropped everything and moved to Alaska to make up for that lost time. And when I got accepted onto the show, I was actually living in his new house when I got the call from The Rock himself in his dining room. And that's when I accepted being on the show.
Oh my God! Oh, hey, what's going on? What's going on, Rock? Oh shoot! Oh dang! I'm shaking right now, man. Oh. Oh man, I appreciate it so much, man. This means a lot to me, man. Oh, woo!
I know it does, and I told the other contenders who made it, it's very, very short-lived. Out of tens of thousands of people who applied, you brought a great quality to our Titan Games combine, and
I was able to represent not only California and Colorado because of my story, but I was able to represent The Last Frontier as well. And not the TV show, y'all. The actual state, Alaska, is known as The Last Frontier. Anyways, as we wait for the pending of his case, one important lesson I have to share about my brother, because it was real hard for us to really forgive our uncle for what he did. But when I was in Alaska, just to see Aries in the same room as our uncle and being able to see that he holds no animosity towards him, I asked him how he could have forgiven our uncle for crossing an unspoken boundary, right? And Brother Aries said the most profound thing. This man is deep, all right? But he said, you don't know how many brothers I've seen behind bars leave and come right back and wasted so much of their precious life behind bars because they couldn't live to see their lover with another man. And he just told me, someone else's decision should never define yours. And if I can forgive our uncle for what he did, why shouldn't y'all? Man, my brother got deep with that one. And, you know, let's not forget, this is the same one who told us the first time you put your hands on a woman, it's the last time she'll be themselves around them. Yeah. He's living in Cali with some of our siblings right now in Fresno, helping take care of mom and dad out there. He's also got a full-time career in Alaska right now. He was actually the one who put me on my Prudo job in Alaska. And so, yeah, he's just someone I looked up so much. And, you know, on that note, I'm just end it on that for today's episode. And if y'all resonate or just have any message of motivation for Brother Aries, leave it in the comments, y'all. And, you know, like this video and at the least subscribe to the channel. Mahalo from Oahu, y'all.